Hey viewers, my name's Cara. Happy February 2017. This video serves a couple of purposes. It's kind of an update, kind of just some information that I want everyone to know that I've talked about in text-based forms before, but I thought it would be really helpful if I just make a video on it and then I can refer everyone here, talk about it all at once, and then I can continue posting links and things on my Facebook. So, first thing I want to say though is just a thank you as well as sort of an apology to one of my Patreon sponsors who has been supporting my work for a long time, has gotten multiple readings from me, I believe has bought something from my Etsy, and is, as I said, a Patreon sponsor. Over the past year, a lot of people probably noticed that at some point, whether it was an Etsy order or a reading or whatever, especially while I was working on shows at my theater, I was sometimes not realizing when I had made a sale on Etsy or when someone had gotten a reading, and I wasn't getting notifications because I didn't have apps for those things, I wasn't getting immediate updates, and so sometimes people waited a very long time. And everyone in my community is very patient. You know, I'm not a company, you know, I'm an individual person doing this, and I was doing it in my free time, so people have been absolutely great. But I want to apologize to Chad in particular, and basically just give Chad a shout out and say thank you so much, because Chad has gotten multiple readings from me before, as I mentioned, and there was a time over the summer when I didn't see the email that PayPal sent me that he had gotten a reading. So he contacted me via email and said, hey, did you see this? And I was like, oh my gosh, no I didn't, let me do that for you. And unfortunately it happened again because the fates aligned, the planets aligned, and Chad happened to get a reading during the time that my email app had frozen and I did not know it at the end of last year. So there was a few weeks at the end of last year that I didn't know I wasn't receiving emails. And then when I got it back up and running again, everything got going and I downloaded apps so I get direct notifications from Etsy now, so I know that I have one sale pending and I know that I have 2 readings to do because I'm getting notifications about that stuff immediately to my email, whereas I was not before. So I just got an email from Chad this week saying, hey, did you get my payment for my reading from back in December? And I had not, so thanks to his email I was able to go back and look and see, oh my gosh, yes, there it is. It was buried between Etsy orders, and it was during the time that I wasn't getting email updates, so I just totally didn't see it. So I want to say thank you for your unending patience and lots of support. I know I thanked you for that in the email. I did get the reading done immediately the next day and sent it off. This is a thank you, but also an apology because I'm sorry that I have had circumstances in the past that made it so that you could go 2 months without questioning if I had seen something. So I am grateful that I am much better with that now. I have these apps in place so I have my notifications, etc., etc. I wanted to share that with everybody because not only do people who are that cooperative and patient and wonderful deserve a shout out, but I like to keep you abreast of what's happening and changes in my business and things like that. So I acknowledge that I have dirty glasses right now, number one. I acknowledge that I have had issues maintaining my schedule and my tasks in the past, and I have put some efforts in place, specifically downloading apps and being that person who has an app for everything, to remedy that and make sure that that kind of thing does not keep happening. So the main topic of this video today is that I want to talk about ways to support my work that don't necessarily require monetary support, because there are a lot of you who have reached out to me who have said, I would love to support you, but I can't afford to get something from your Etsy, or I can't afford to support you on Patreon, or whatever it may be. So in this video, I want to talk about all the different ways, or some of the different ways, there's probably more that I'm not even thinking of, that you can support my work in other ways. So I have a lot of really close friends that I've made online who always say things like, oh, I would support you if I could because I really want to, but I can't right now because blah, blah, blah. And what I always tell them is, don't worry about it. You support me in so many other ways. These are the people that I have grown very, very close to, that I have very close relationships with, who I might talk to on a daily basis, and the people who are there for me to vent to and who vent to me and who we can discuss in-depth topics about anything, you know? And I don't do that with everybody that I just casually chat with online, but those people who have really become a part of my daily life, I think that is a beautiful amount of support, and so thank you to those people. I just wanted to mention that before I get into this, because that is very important to me as well. But as far as the formal ways that you think of as supporting my channel and supporting the work that I'm doing, there are the obvious methods, right? There's a link to my Patreon campaign in the description of my videos, and I am currently in the process of determining some new and exciting rewards for people who decide to sponsor me. In the past, it's just been things like shoutouts, which I was not always good at doing every single month. Most of the people who sponsor me, that's not what they're sponsoring me for anyway. They just appreciate kind of whatever I can give them at any time, which I totally appreciate. It means I have the right people in my life and in my community online. But I want to do better, I want to do more exciting things, and especially since I'm trying to do this full time, I want to switch things up. I want to make things new and exciting. Like I said, I want to have a fairly good schedule to make sure that I'm always doing something and keeping track of it. So what Patreon is a place where anybody can sign up to pledge to support my videos. That supports this work that has been on YouTube free to the public for years and is continuing. My Patreon sponsors or patrons pledge to sponsor this work that happens every month. So their support benefits all of you because it enables me to keep doing this work and have it support me a little bit while all the rest of you get to see it for free. I just want to take this opportunity here to say thank you and send love to all of my Patreon sponsors. So what you're seeing on the screen is all of the Patreon sponsors who sponsored my videos for the month of January and their pledge tiers. And then the last thing you're going to see show up is all of the people who were part of sponsoring every single one of the videos that I posted in January. Some people sponsor some of them and not the rest of them. You do what you can, you set your own maximum, and some people sponsored all 6 of the videos that I posted last month. But everyone is so special to me, and just looking back at all of these names and seeing how much you guys support, I love you and thank you so much, and you guys are amazing. Honestly, there are fewer than 30 of you and you have such a great impact, and I wanted to thank all of you in this video, even though I normally don't do that. Even the 2 people who signed up not to get a reward, I wanted to thank all of you at this time and just tell you how much I appreciate you and how wonderful and awesome you are. Thank you. There's also a link in the description to my Etsy shop where I sell mindful magical jewelry, things like crystal chip bracelets, things like pentacle necklaces with stones. I wrap crystals as well. There's a lot of different things that I do that are not necessarily listed on the Etsy at any given time. So if you go back and look in the sold category and see what I've sold in the past, you can get a feel for what I've done in the past. I've done a lot of little crochet things lately that haven't been listed yet. I've crocheted pouches and bags. I also hand sew pouches and bags. I used to do a lot of modeling clay. I used to do some wood burning. I don't do those things as much anymore, but I still could. But right now I'm really focusing on the crystal jewelry. And there is a third link below in the description to my videos if you want to get a card reading from me. That is either a tarot reading or an oracle card reading. I have 4 of my decks that are offered in that link on my blog. And I have recently redone that link so it looks different than how it looked before. Instead of being organized by price tier, it is now organized by what that reading is and like what you might need out of a reading. I think that'll be a lot easier for people to navigate. And I have condensed the descriptions of the decks and things like that, so you're not reading blocks of text, there's just some bullet points. I think it's much more streamlined. And there will be other things online that I'm offering that will be paid offerings in the future as I continue working on those. But for now, Patreon, Etsy, and readings are really the main ways to support me in that way. But what about all the non-monetary options? Of course there are things you can do that don't cost you any money that will really support my work and my channel and what I'm doing. So the first thing that might not be obvious to everyone is that you can share my videos. You can share these videos that I make online on YouTube, and you can also share my content on Instagram, or you can't share it, I guess, but you can like the things I post on Instagram and follow me on Twitter, follow my Facebook page, share things from there, etc. That helps to expand my reach and build a bigger audience, have more of you. So that can be really important just in exposing new people all the time to this content that maybe would be really beneficial and wonderful for them, or that they would just really enjoy and they hadn't heard of me before. And then you never know when those people might be in a position to support me as well, or they continue sharing, so on and so forth. Along those same lines, you can subscribe to this channel. I know that there are a lot of people who watch this channel who are not subscribed, or people who don't even have a YouTube account who just watch the videos that they want to watch. And that's totally fine, and you can always make your own decisions about that, but I want to tell you why subscribing is actually kind of important to YouTubers. The subscriber count is one of the main ways that YouTube and different sponsorships and things like that can tell how well our channel is doing. They probably also look at views, and I definitely have more views than I have subscribers, and also in another way that you look at it, I have fewer views than I do subscribers. But the subscriber count is a huge way that people can tell how popular our channel is, and I've actually been turned down for some things that I tried to do in the past because I didn't have enough subscribers at that point. Now I have a lot more than I did then. But it's almost like I wonder, how many do I really have? Because I know there are so many of you who watch who are not subscribed or don't even have a YouTube channel, so you can't comment, you can't like, you can't favorite, you can't do any of those YouTube specific things. So I wonder how many subscribers I would actually have, like people who regularly watch my videos. Another thing that you can do that's just really cool to do for any small business owner that you know and like is to recommend me to other people who are looking for the kinds of services that I provide. So if you hear of someone who's looking for a nice pentacle necklace that is along the style that I do, recommend that they look into my shop. If they want something custom, have them ask me. If I can't do it, I will always let them know that. But I've done some different custom things in the past for people who really have this vision of this piece that they want, whether it's specific stones that are important to their life or just a design that fits them better than anything that they've seen offered anywhere else. And they can tell me what they want, and I draw it up and I say, is this your vision? And they're like, yes, thank you. And I make that happen. One of the things I'm really excited about doing now, which I will definitely talk about in other videos, is along the lines of these chip bracelets. These are just a general chakra one that I already have done. But what I've been doing recently is looking at an actual thing going on in a person's life, something that somebody wants help with, something that they want to manifest, looking at that and kind of sitting with that and saying, okay, what stones should go into this bracelet that will help with that problem? And that's been really fun for me. It's an exercise in my intuition, and it's also a really great way to put a lot of energy into something knowing that it's for a specific purpose. So I've done that for a few people recently, and that's something that I'm going to do more. So anything like that, if someone's just like, I wish there was a bracelet for this, I could potentially make that happen. And the same thing with readings. If someone's looking for a reading, they don't really particularly have a favorite place to go, or they're asking you, hey, do you know any card readers? Think about giving me a recommendation. The last big thing I want to mention, like I said, there's probably other things that I'm not thinking about, but these are the main things that I'm thinking about. The last big thing I want to say that you can do to support my videos is something that I have linked before on my Facebook page, but it doesn't always get a lot of notice when I do that. So I want to mention it here. And that is, you can help to caption my YouTube videos. There is a link that when you click on it, it will take you to a list of all the videos on my channel that still need captions. If you have a lot of free time, if you watch a lot of YouTube videos anyway, this would be a fantastic thing to do. It would help me out a lot. I totally understand if you don't want to do the half-hour long videos, and I will endeavor to get to those over time myself, but it does take a lot of time that I don't always have. Sometimes I sit down one day and just work on stuff like that for hours, and then I don't get to it again for months. But adding captions to videos really helps because it helps those viewers who are hard of hearing, number one. It also helps anyone for whom English is not their first language. I'm aware that I talk kind of fast, and a lot of the reason that I do that is just naturally that's the way I speak, but I also don't like to purposely slow down a lot like I might if I were in a play saying lines at a certain speed, or if I were doing a trance meditation or something like that, I might slow down. I don't like to slow down my general vlogging speed because my videos are always so long anyway, and if I spoke any slower, I feel like it would be forever. And nobody has time for that. So it really helps for people who don't understand what I'm saying because I'm talking so fast. So there are really multiple ways that captions are really important just on that front. But the other cool thing also that comes from captions is once we have English captions, people can then translate my videos into other languages so that people who don't speak English at all can still enjoy their content. I actually have a few videos now that are subtitled in Greek because one of you speaks Greek and worked with a couple different friends to translate some of my videos into Greek. That is crazy time to me, and it's wonderful. And the fact of the matter is, I'm working really hard on getting captions done when I can. Sometimes I even caption the video right after I've uploaded it, but it takes time, and I don't always have the time to sit at the library and do that. If I'm at home, it takes even longer because my computer is slower, so I just can't always get it done in a proper amount of time. So that's why I ask if you have any extra time and want to do something that would really support the progress of my channel, that costs nothing but your time and a little bit of your patience, you can help caption my videos, and there's a link to do that. You can also, by the way, do this for Pagan Perspective videos on the collab as well. You can do this for any channel that allows community contributions to their channel captions, and I have enabled that for CuteWitch772 and for the Pagan Perspective collab channel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a blog post on my blog with this information, because there actually is one more little way that you can help support my channel without spending any money yourself that I'm not technically supposed to say on YouTube. Not that it's illegal, it's just something that they don't like us to tell you about. They just expect you to know how it works, but we recognize that not everyone knows how it works. So I'll add that to the blog post, and all these other links to these things will be there. So this way we'll have a video and a blog post to refer back to when anyone asks, hey, how can I support if it's not in my budget? So to recap, you can definitely sponsor my work and support my work directly by sponsoring on Patreon, buying things from my Etsy shop, or getting a reading from me. But you can also recommend my Etsy shop and my readings to other people. You can share my videos and other online social media content to help expand the audience. You can subscribe if you're not already and you have an account, because it does help my numbers a lot. And you can help caption the videos, which helps the rest of our audience, both foreign language speakers, English as a second, third, fourth, fifth language speakers, and those who are hard of hearing. General thank you again to all of my Patreon sponsors who help these videos help everyone else. And a big thank you to Chad. I'm really glad to hear that you guys have been enjoying some of the new videos. I have lots and lots of more ideas, more ideas to do in the future, more projects that I'm working on. And just a heads up, throughout the month of February, I might be posting some videos and vlogs from last year, because I believe I have not posted my videos from the Ohio Renaissance Festival yet, or at least the other two that I have. So you might see those pop up as extra videos throughout the month of February. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, don't forget to be awesome, blessed be, and goodbye. Look at my little setup on my table. This looks so inviting for me to sit and do more readings, which is perfect because I have 2 more to do.